Greg truly believed that the military owed him money, and he became consumed with proving this.
They had to look out for each other's lives. He saw what you see that you think you only see in the movies. Had to see that.
He experienced issues getting reimbursed through the GI Bill program for classes he took, and this became the root of why he felt he was owed from the military. It seemed that PTSD was severely affecting his daily life. Greg was having trouble sleeping, and was hypersensitive about his surroundings, yet for a long time he was ashamed to ask for help. A former Army friend reported later that he offered Greg a place to stay, but Greg declined, even though he struggled to keep his feet beneath him. In addition to the Veterans Home, Greg received assistance from a Veterans Hospital in San Francisco. However, his services with the Pathway Home and Veterans Home were cut off after Dr. Jen Golick ordered Greg to be removed from the program. Greg had many conflicts with the home, and refused to follow the home's policies and procedures. After he was found with knives, Greg was asked to leave the program. His official discharge date was meant to be February 20th. However, he was actually asked to leave sooner than that date, possibly due to threats made to the staff at the clinic. Only days before the shooting, Greg told one of his foster brothers that he was furious with the staff for terminating him from the program, and expressed desire to get back at them. The foster brother said that Greg never threatened to kill anyone, or any other type of violence. He just thought Greg meant that he would merely have words with the program supervisor, not commit the deadly shooting that later ensued. Both weapons that Greg used in the attack were legally purchased and owned. The double-barrel shotgun was paid for at Sweeney Sports in Napa on February 14, 2018, and picked up on February 25th after clearing the state-mandated 10-day waiting period. Just about a week later, he purchased the .308 rifle from Coyote Point Armory in Burlingame, and picked it up on March 5th, again, after waiting the requisite 10 days. It is clear by the types of guns he purchased, along with the massive amounts of ammunition, that Greg carefully planned and executed his next attack. The families of the victims have filed wrongful death suits against the Pathway Home, the state, and local agencies. In the suit against the Pathway Home, it was alleged that the home failed to maintain safety and security.
We've told Calvet and the state for years now how unsafe this place was. Anybody could walk in here with anything.
After the tragic shooting, the home suspended operations indefinitely and has not reopened to this day. Prior to the shooting, the Pathway Home was open for 10 years, providing the invaluable service of helping traumatized soldiers, and sadly, due to the unconscionable, disturbing acts of one man, many service members will continue to suffer in silence, deprived of the resources they so desperately need and deserve. A celebration of life was held for these 3 victims on March 19th at the Napa Valley Performing Arts Center at the Lincoln Theater on the Veterans Home campus. The celebration was open to the public and provided the families and the community the opportunity to collectively grieve what was lost, but celebrate what was here for however short a time. Each victim had their own private funerals as well. It's very difficult to say whether this shooting could have been prevented. However, we all have the unique ability to help prevent such a catastrophic event from happening, if we keep our eyes and ears open, and never hesitate to report when something or someone just doesn't seem right. It is our sincerest wish that there will be no more active or mass shooting stories to tell. We pray that love will prevail over hate.
Too many have died! We should say to ourselves, not one more!
In the meantime, we urge our listeners to stay aware of your surroundings and keep in touch with your loved ones. If you see something, say something. You never know how many lives you'll be saving.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of Active Shooter, the podcast. Remember, if you see something, say something. There's no telling how many lives you may be saving.
A huge thank you to Darren Curtis, who composed some of the music used in this episode. Check him out at darrencurtismusic.com. darrencurtis.com. DARRENCURTIS. Music.com.
Active shooter. Reports of an active shooter. Active shooter.
Active shooter. Mass casualty incidents.
Make sure to check us out on social media. We have a discussion group on Facebook. Just search for Active Shooter, the podcast discussion group. You can also find us on Instagram at Active the Podcast and Twitter at Podcast Active. For just $1 a month, you can get access to ad-free episodes, early release episodes when available, and a shout-out on the show. Just go to patreon.com/Active the Podcast. Thank you, and be safe.
I'm Paige, the host of Reverie True Crime. I tell stories of helpless victims, vicious killers, predators watching their prey before they strike, survivors, petty crimes, people we think we know who do the unthinkable, and the dangers that lurk not only in the dead of night, but in plain sight and the light of day. Every once in a while, I'll also tell stories of the frightening paranormal, elusive cryptids, haunted locations, and conspiracies that may be silly or thought-provoking. You can listen to Reverie True Crime wherever you're listening to this podcast. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at Reverie Crime Pod, Facebook, Instagram, and even Tumblr at Reverie True Crime. Remember, stay safe, be aware of your surroundings at all times, and take care.